Hey, this is Damien from Angelwolf Studios. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you something that I've discovered while working on my tables. So, one of the things that have been bothering me is that I've been getting these cheap brushes. So, when I went and got these cheap brushes, it was mainly because I would stain my tables or whatever, and then I would throw them away. Figured if they only cost $1, who cares, right? Well, I figured out a way to preserve them at least a little bit longer. So you don't have to throw away your old brushes. And get this, no harsh chemicals. Interesting, huh? So basically, after looking at the can to stain and the polyurethane that I use, both from Minwax, not sponsored, please sponsor. Um, I realized that they're both oil based. Then I remembered something, something that somebody told me a long time ago, and that was that if you want to clean red wine out of something, then you want to use white wine to clean it out. And I've seen demos of this, so it works. So I figured if I want to clean an oil based thing out of my brushes, why don't I just use oil? And I'm not talking about, like motor oil or anything. I'm talking about cooking oil. Okay, this is what I'm using. Great value canola oil. Got the big jug for a reason. Now, it just so happens that I've been working on a table, so I just got finished with some stain. Let's try not to spoil anything. Here we go. Okay, so what I have here is a regular, like, not Tupperware. This is like lunch meat came in it or whatever, and then I just kept the container. So what I do is take the brush, and this is going to be hard using doing just with just one hand. All right, so especially since I have this big jug instead of, oh, it has a handle. Never mind. Okay. All right, so you take the brush, and this, it's not hard, but it does still have stain in it. So it is still flexible. And I know this is not one of these brushes. This is actually a good brush. I might say that a couple of times. I don't know. I might forget again. Okay, so let me bring this closer. Get a little closer. Don't be shy. Get a little closer with arid extra dry. Okay. So now you pour some oil. You can right over the bristles if you want. About that much. Just enough to cover the bristles. Okay? Now, you can actually sit here and wash it by, just scrubbing it if you want. But if you see, it's already pulling on the stain. So now if you're not going to use the brush again right away, you can go ahead and leave it in there just like this. And then it's just going to soak out or suck out the stain into the oil. All right, so now after your brushes have soaked for a little while, then you can take them out. You let them drip into the container, or you can do it like I do. Turn on the hot water, let it drip a little bit. Something like this on the side, and you put it right underneath the hot water. There you go. Do the same thing for the other brush. And lay them right on top of each other. That'll take care of both at the same time. Now, you don't take this and pour it down your drain. You take this and you either seal it up the way it is in the container that you had, or you empty this out into a bucket. Okay, because this, when you pour down the drain, and you do this enough times, then you can clog up the sewer system. I'm lucky enough actually to be this stuck to septic, but I still do not want to pour this down the drain. So what I'm going to do is later on I'm going to put this into a bucket. After it's been in the soaking in the hot water for a little while, you just want to wring it out. All right, you'll still see some of the stain that's coming out of it. That's okay. If you see any stain come up on the side of the brush, just wipe it off. It'll be on your finger too, so I wouldn't worry about that either. So I get my stain rag and wipe everything off. Do the same thing with my larger brush here. Spread the bristles a little. And the hot water helps the oil get off your brush. Now, go ahead. Wash my hands. Now, you can also do, what I do sometimes is I take dishwashing liquid, especially Dawn because it cuts through oil and grease. Just dab a little on there, massage it into the bristle, let it foam up like that. Now you're not going to get the old color of the bristles back, especially not with natural, like camel hair brushes. Do the same thing with this one. That's all you need, just about that much, and just rub it in. Make sure your sink is empty before you do this. You do not want to do this while you have a sink full of dishes, because you will get stain or whatever else on your brushes or on your dishes, and you just don't want that. Now, even though these two still have the same color of the stain that was last used, all I got to do now is dry them off. And this brush here is a good brush from Walmart. They do have a set of brushes called better brushes. So if these brushes aren't good enough for you, you can go get the better ones. And this is like one of those, like dollar brushes. Sometimes you can get them in a set package. And you just want to dry it off as best you can. You don't have to dry it off completely. It doesn't have to be completely dry. Just when you rub your fingers over it, you don't get any stain on your fingers. All right. And then you can go ahead and start using them again. So I also mentioned that you can use this for polyurethane as well. Polyurethane is oil-based, right? So leaving the polyurethane in anything else will make your brush look like this. At least this is what happened when I left it in, I want to say mineral spirits. It was either mineral spirits or turpentine, one of the two. I had got a good amount of it. I poured it into this glass jar because I figured don't put it into a plastic container. It might do something to the container and leak everywhere. That I didn't want. So now this is all the crud left over after the mineral spirits or whatever it was evaporated. And it evaporated actually pretty quick, and I was not prepared for that. So after the last time I used polyurethane, I put it in some oil. Now I also added some soap, but this white stuff is the same white stuff that's down here, I believe. I haven't tested it or anything, but it looks about the same. And that very bottom layer, I'm spoiling things. That very bottom layer that you see is soap. Now, what I did was, before I put it in here, for this one, I put a little soap on the bristles and rubbed it in, and then I put in the oil, just in case, just to see if it'll help it out a little bit. But I didn't need it. And all you do is you wring out the oil, take it to the sink, like I showed you with the stain brush, and then rinse it out. Dump the oil in a bucket, just like you would with the other stuff, and and then do whatever you need to do with it. You can let it dry that way. It'll stay nice and soft. I just keep it in here just in case, because I don't want anything to happen to it.